Wambua, is he online? Can we proceed, Senator Wambua, to make your contribution? Do we have some technical challenge, clerk, so that we skip and move to the next senator?
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, proceed, Senator Enoch. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and sorry for that technical itch. I hope I can be heard now. Mr. Speaker.
Senator Enoch, kindly put your camera on. We need to see where you are. And you know you need to be dressed appropriately.
Mr. Speaker, I want to do that, but the network will not sustain that.
You may not be able to proceed without the camera on.
Okay, Mr. Speaker.
Because we need to know your location and how you're dressed. Proceed.
No, Mr. Senator Kenya, what is the problem? Can I proceed? Can I make a contribution? Mr. Speaker, I want to begin by saying that this is a very important bill that is on the floor of the Senate. And Mr. Speaker, if it can be heard.
Senator Enoch Wambua.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
You are not properly dressed. You know,
this is a Kenyan dress. This is a flag of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wambua, the mere fact that there's a flag on what you are described as your top, it does not meet the dress code as required by the standards of the Senate. You may be proceeding maybe to a soccer pitch.
Okay,
so I'm afraid you may not proceed. I'm afraid, Senator Wambua, you may not be able to proceed to make your contribution because you're not dressed appropriately for the House. So, Senator Kisang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to make my comments. One, Honorable Speaker, we make laws for posterity. And this particular law, it is good that it has come at the beginning of the term of this parliament, because if it comes towards a campaign period, you know, the temperatures are very high. So I believe we are going to debate soberly and agree on issues. Honorable Speaker, on the Public Service Commission nominee, we know Public Service Commission are the experts in terms of HR issues in the country. I believe it's very important that we get somebody, we get a nominee from Public Service Commission in that selection panel to guide and help so that we don't eventually appoint people to IBC commission like the four who almost banned the country, Honorable Speaker. It's important that we get people who of integrity who will interview and vet properly. Honorable Speaker, on the one position for Parliamentary Service Commission, I believe it is important that we have two, so that the minority side produce one and the majority side produce one. The Law Society of Kenya, they are not very important here, Honorable Speaker, because even in the laws that we passed in the National Assembly in the last Parliament, everywhere they say you have to a lawyer. Why can't we remove the nominee from Law Society of Kenya, put on Parliamentary Service Commission, and then we put a rider that one of them must be a lawyer to take care of lawyers if we need legal expertise in this election panel, Honorable Speaker. So this is what I believe needs to be done. Honorable Speaker, on interreligious, we know we are the country is 80% Christians and then 20% the others. We should not specify. We give them the opportunity, the leeway to choose. Maybe this time they choose a Catholic or a Protestant, and the next time a Muslim or an Hindu to represent the interreligious in this particular selection panel. The problem that we have in the country, Honorable Speaker, is actually not the commissioners or the selection panel. The issue is we don't accept elections. People don't accept when they're debated. It is good. If you don't win, you accept and move on. Because we are 67 in this house, 47 elected senators. There are many who contested and lost, and they accepted. The issue is at the top, the president's level. People don't accept. IBC have embraced technology. The reason why we have a president currently, it is because of technology. If there was no technology, those who went to bombers of Kenya, they would have changed the results. But we had the results way before. It was very difficult for anybody to manipulate and announce or declare somebody who had not gotten the votes. It's because of technology. IBC have embraced technology, and this is the way to go. In fact, eventually, if it is possible, in the course of the term of this parliament, the parties, we need to also encourage the parties to use technology when they're doing their primaries, because there are many issues across all the political divides when it comes to primaries of political parties towards a general election. Honorable Speaker, mine is just to say, let us debate soberly, let us agree, and I propose that the chair of CHAILAC, Honorable Sigei, if there are amendments that you're going to bring in the afternoon, you can drop the nominee from LSK and move it to Parliamentary Service Commission, and I believe members will agree, so long as we put a rider that that particular member, one of them, to be a lawyer, to give maybe legal advice during the selection panel as they maybe appoint or interview commissioners of IEPC. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I support.
Senator Okongo Mogeni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also rise to make a contribution on this very important bill. But, Mr. Speaker, I'm really saddened by the attack, the spirited attack I've seen in the House this morning and part of the afternoon against lawyers, more particularly Law Society of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, people are talking as if they don't know the history of this country. Law Society has been in the thick of things. It's Law Society that fought for multi-party democracy in this country, Mr. Speaker. How can we sit here attacking Law Society of Kenya the whole morning as if they don't know the history of this country? Law Society has been in the thick of things. It's Law Society that fought for multi-party democracy in this country, Mr. Speaker. How can we sit here attacking Law Society of Kenya the whole morning as if we don't know about the history of this country? Mr. Speaker, the Law Society of Kenya, I want to inform the honorable members, is a statutory body created by an act of parliament. I mean, look at the mandate of Law Society.
What is your point of order, Senator Boni?
And your son is a lawyer.
I don't wish to interrupt my colleague, who I respect very much. But just because we want to have a clear record of proceedings for posterity, may the record show that the people who fought for the second liberations was not limited to Law Society alone. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I was in the struggle from the age of 22 at the University of Nairobi up to until we had succeeded. Could he withdraw the fact that it was only Law Society of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, sir?
Mr. Speaker, I thought doctors normally listen carefully. And when I was, so I'm surprised that Senator Boni Khalwale does not seem to be listening keenly. I said Law Society was in the forefront. I've not said you are not in the forefront. I've said that history bears me witness that Law Society has been in the forefront. So, Mr. Speaker, this is not the first time Law Society of Kenya is participating as a panelist in picking commissioners for IBC. Mr. Speaker, when I was the chair of Law Society of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, LSK was given slots. Under my chairmanship, we picked nominees that picked the commissioners that reformed IBC. So, Mr. Speaker, let's appreciate the fact that Law Society is a very key professional body in this country. Law Society has been in the forefront, even defending people who have fought for human rights in this country. And the best way we should recognize, Mr. Speaker, that role is by giving them 2 slots, not even 1. We should give them 2, 1 woman, 1 man. Instead of packing these nominees with Public Service Commission, why do we want to pack Public Service Commission as panelists in picking panelists who are going to interview our IBC commissioners? Mr. Speaker, the best way to approach this